Hey, welcome into the Harris County Coaches Show. This week brought to you by Whistling Pig up in Pine Mountain. We just know it as the pig here in the county. So if you're going to get some lunch, right on up there. Hey, this weekend was a big weekend. We talked about it on the Kudzu Sports Show. So moving into another big week in sports, but a sport that's still on the rise coming up is flag football. This week, our guest is going to be Coach Zach Moss, the flag football head coach. Here you come. What's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey man, I know it's always exciting. The flag football is really gaining some momentum, and y'all, really got some success here lately. But let's take a step back a little bit and tell us about yourself, kind of like your time at Harris County, what sports you kind of played, and how you just kind of become a coach in general.
So I graduated in 2010 from Harris County. I went and played college ball at Georgia Southwestern. I originally signed with Georgia College and stayed out of high school. Some things fell through, so I went. I wanted to stay in the Peach Belt Conference, pretty big baseball conference. So I went to Georgia Southwestern. Came back home, wanted to coach at Harris County, and didn't get. They didn't have any openings when I first tried to get back in. I went to LaGrange for a year. It wasn't too bad. We made it to the Final Four in baseball that year, so it was a good experience with Coach Smart up there. But then I got back on at Harris County. Was coaching varsity football under Zach Howard, then Jamie Fox, wide receivers. Was doing varsity baseball under Westmoreland. Tracy Powell, got to work with them one on one. Coach first base for varsity, so that was a good experience. Two good coaches there too.
Yeah.
Um, then me and my wife started having kids, so my little girl was born, and I knew eventually I was going to have to cut out some sports to try to coach her. I like football. Flag football is kind of coming up, and I had heard about it. They did like a trial run in 2020 or something. I think it was 2020, 2019, 2020. We weren't one of the, like, I think it was like only 11 or 12 schools in the state that got picked to be in part of it. I knew it was coming, told Coach Robinson about it. Next thing I know, I did give football up, and I got a call, and he was like, "You want to do flag? I know you mentioned it." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Been pretty successful with it, so that's a good thing. And then I dropped down to middle school baseball too, just to have some time for my wife and my kids and be able to coach them in little league. So that's just a little bit of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's an exciting time. So when you talk about that trial run, tell us about the early days, because now flags, just about every school's got it now. It looks like, even Muskogee County schools are really packing it in. So what were them early days like? I seen the equipment bag that you used to have look like something from Remember the Titans. So just tell us about some of them early days with the flag group.
So I got a call in like August saying we're going to get a flag team. Our first practice, actually that year, your tryouts and your first practice was pretty much the same thing. So we spent 2, 3 days of trying to put a team together. Man, honestly, I didn't know what I had. I just knew I had some athletes.
Yeah.
Um, them girls, softball, volleyball, and soccer has always been a big core. So I kind of just tossed everything in and went with it. Luckily, Harris County does have some very athletic females, and they kind of pulled us through, man. And uh, they bought in. I treated it kind of like a 7-on-7, but kind of like backyard football style. Just kind of literally drew stuff on paper to see what would work, and they bought in, and we ended up going to the Elite Eight our first year and lost to Calvary Day, who actually ended up winning it that year. So after that first year, man, it made me more hungry. Girls are tougher than boys. I learned that. They listen because they don't know a lot about football. They just watch it on Saturdays. Um, and it made it's hard to explain. I mean, it's like football without pads. I tell people to come watch it all the time. Just come watch one game and you'll be hooked. And ever since then, we just kind of been rolling.
What do you think it is at Harris County when you look at the success that the female sports have? I mean, last season it seemed like every sport was in the Elite Eight. What in the female sport went to the Elite Eight, and just what do you think it is at Harris County? Is it I attribute it back to you look at the Little League, the softball at the Little League is at a high competitive age. The soccer program they got from the time these girls are
Yeah.
4 years old, they're competing. Just what do you think it is that's in Harris County that makes these females just I mean, all these sports are just incredible.
Man, it's I tell people this all the time. We have something special. We have one middle school and one high school. So if we can keep them girls together, boys too, from
Yeah.
that young age all the way up through, man, we could have something special just from there. And then when the girls start playing with each other in different sports and reach higher competition, I don't know. It's like our girls are 2 to 3 steps ahead of other schools' girls, and I don't know if it comes from that or if it comes from we just get all the girls in what 6 or 7 different little
Yeah.
counties or cities, So I think it helps a lot, but I don't. If you can go into a girls' weight training class, and we have some strong girls at Harris County. I mean, some girls that are pushing weight and for their body weight, would be one of the highest percentages in the boys' weight room if they were boys. So, you know, I don't know. We got some. I tell them all the time. We got some real dogs in Harris County
Yeah.
on the boys and girls side.
Yeah, and I think, we're just kind of scratching the surface on some of that too. You want to talk about some of the dogs that, at the county. Let's look just right off the bat, probably we've said before, the best athlete walking the halls on 116, Madeline Collie, or Cricket. Everybody calls her. What can you say about? I mean, you look back at her freshman year when she played softball, so she missed the beginning of flag football season. And you told me at that first game, and the quarterback you used, I believe, was Ashley, who ended up going to play college ball.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I got a girl that's playing softball right now, but when she comes in here, and then she went to the state championship that year for you, is just what is it about cricket that's made her special since day one?
She's coachable, man. She's that good, and she's very humble about it. She don't take it. She is not the kind to go around and brag about it. She's going to get her work done, and she's going to do it on the field, and she's going to pick every teammate up. Uh, I tell people all the time. I think I probably told you this. I'll never have another one. It's something crazy. It's like the girl played 6 sports her freshman and I think 4 sophomore year and was good at every single one of them. And that's what going into the sport late, not practicing, and still picking up and competing. Um, I had Ashton. Ashton was a real. She really helped lay a foundation for the flag football. She's still playing at Milligan, and I
Yeah,
really foresee her taking it to the next level and honestly putting in time and possibly being on the Olympic team in 2028. I mean, I know that's her goal, and I know how her work ethic is, and she can do
yeah,
that. Cricket, I don't know, dude. She just comes in. I actually had Abby Zimmerman. I threw her in at quarterback and let Ashton be at receiver because I knew she had good hands, and she played 3 games and threw for over 600 yards. And Cricket shows up and I have to sit her. And and Abby took that well. I mean, she understood Abby's a good team player, but Cricket comes in and literally takes us to the state championship. Puts balls in positions and areas that the boys have trouble doing. And the best thing about Madeline though is that she's a good student athlete. And student comes first.
yeah.
4.2 JROTC. She's business. Good at basketball. Region Player of the Year and almost everything she plays. She's just a great kid, and she comes from a great family.
Oh, absolutely. You can't say enough about her family, how good they are. And even Xander's old crazy self is still a great
Yeah.
kid.
Yep.
Madeline's the only kid I've seen in tackle football or flag football that other coaches stop from other teams and watch her warm up and watch her throw deep balls and just watch how she handles herself. And that's just a testament to her upbringing and her athletic ability, just how amazing she is. But she's not the only one on your team getting looks at from colleges. Let's talk
Mm-mm.
about some of these other girls because it's a newer sport, but it's getting a lot of college scholarship offers coming out, and it seems like Harris County's racking them in. I know there for a while it was about every day or so.
Oh
I was being
yeah.
told, hey, so and so got an offer, so and so got an offer. So let's talk about some of them girls.
So you got Morgan Ligon. She'll be a running back and play some defense, probably filling in on Rusher from losing TK. I know she has an offer from Lagrange right now. She's an upcoming junior or a junior this year. Pearson Pettit. She didn't play her freshman year. I talked her into playing last year. I threw her out there on GPB against Central Carrollton, and from there, it was history. But that girl works hard as anybody on the team. She's out there throwing every day, catching, doing whatever she needs to do. Uh, I know she'll have offers. It just hadn't came yet. I told her just wait for the first one, and after that, there'll just be a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Kristen Davis went from not playing her, being on the team, but not playing her sophomore and freshman year to starting last year. And by January, after the playoffs, she had picked up 7 offers. She has been to New York to go to the Her Show, which is a pretty big thing. She got invited to, won MVP there. She's now sitting at 9 offers. So, that's a testament of, sometimes people preach, you got to wait your time, sit back
Yeah.
and watch this. And, it makes them, I feel like it makes players a little bit more hungry to be in that position to, I mean, I threw her out there in the Final Four against Pace. Nevaeh got hurt and she made the tackle to stop them on 4th down. So, I think that she got a little taste of it and didn't give up, and this paid off. Upcoming sophomores, you got Hannah Huff. If you just watch her, she's physical. She could put pads on and probably compete with the boys. Just she's a big girl, strong, and she just wants it. Addison Fowler's going to step up this year. I feel like she'll be big, and we got some big time freshmen coming up that I don't see why they won't be on the field. Kendall Robinson stays on the defense side of the ball. I think she'll pick up some offers this year. And then you got other basketball players like Lana Coulter. If she wants to go play in college, she can. I threw her out there last year and she put in some good time and good reps and helped us tremendously.
Yeah, Lana played that wide receiver position opposite of Pearson pretty solid last year, and I don't see. And then you throw Huff into that, who was a shot put, one of the best
Yeah.
shot putters and discus in the state. You talk about how strong she is, and you wouldn't really think it when you just see her coming up
No.
to you that she's that that level of strong. But it helps to have that different types of receivers on that offense. Then even on your defense, the different style players, the Christian usually in that middle. Then you got speed galore, which flag football is a speed sport. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
mentioned your freshman. Talk about some of the speed you got coming in, where it seems like it's an influx of just speed, just lightning speed coming in.
I mean, you got Addie Seaman, who's a freshman. The girl is little but mighty. Like she came out in the flag football tryouts, not scared of nobody. And man, she's on varsity. I'm kind of jealous about that because I'll get her a little bit later. But I
Yeah.
understand why Jenkins did it. I mean, makes sense. But I mean, I see her coming in, and I mean, she'll get reps at running back maybe right off the bat. She's that
Yeah.
fast. And then you got Ansley Weaver. I mean, she's just as fast, and her hands looked good at tryouts. You got Huckabee coming. She's going to help us. I finally talked her into trying
Yeah.
out. And then you got Caitlin Allen. Caitlin Allen ain't going to wow you, but she's going to get the job done.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this young group. You got a girl that I didn't even really know about, honestly. I think her Tyler Norman.
Yeah.
Um, Man, she showed out at tryouts. You were out there, you saw her. So
Oh,
we
she was
got
one of the best players. If any class, she was a freshman. I didn't even know who she was, where she come
yep,
from. They said she was at the middle school, but she was phenomenal on defensive, playing defensive end and playing wide receiver. She caught everything thrown to her. So
yep. Then you got always try to keep one taller girl. Luckily at Harris County we do have a couple. I kept Grace. She had a good tryout. She caught the ball
yeah,
good. Was very, very. I guess you say rough. She would put her nose and she wasn't scared to put her nose in and pull the flag or go up and get a ball. So, man, I'm excited. It's hard to replace the ones we have lost in the past couple of years, but luckily at Harris County, we are we have been fortunate enough to be able to do that. So it's a good thing.
oh, absolutely, it is. Now, real quick, we'll get away on the flag practice starts. What is it? And it's September 9th.
Yep, September 9th, we can have first practice. October 8th, first game. So we got a little bit about a week longer than we usually do. We usually get about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before first game. So
They're stretching that out a little bit. Let's talk about that schedule, the iron sharpens iron approach you have going into the schedule that you put together. You got at Smith Station, who play for state championships at Central in Phoenix City, at Pacelli, and then Columbus High at the end. When you're talking about the best flag football teams, pretty much in the state of Alabama, Central and Smith Station's up there. And when you talk about the best in the state of Georgia, Columbus High and Pacelli's up there.
Chilling, yeah.
And you're taking the girls from the county, and you're going to these places, and you're saying, what's that saying? Anybody, anytime, any place.
That's
You're
right.
kind of just taking that approach of iron sharpens iron. But what's that approach and the mindset getting your girls ready for the playoffs?
Oh man, so I feel like the past couple of years, the way the schedule fell, trying to figure out the rules of flag, um, how we're going to be able to, how we're going to be able to. I'm sorry,
You're
my
good.
nephew walked in. How we're going to be able to compete with good teams like this, because I feel like
Yeah.
we failed on having a tough schedule, and it hurt us in the playoffs to a certain extent because I mean, if flag is getting competitive now, there's more teams, it's harder to get deeper. So I wanted to schedule people that I knew would be a challenge to us. Smith Station 2 years ago, the year we played for the state championship, they played for it, lost. So, I know they're hungry to get back.
Yeah.
Central, I mean, they got some athletes over there. That coach, he does a great job. He's a great dude. We talked at the All by City, Chattahoochee Valley All by City, and we was like, yeah, we need to play each other. Zach at Bocelli speaks for himself.
Yeah.
Good dude, turns girls from Bocelli into good flag football players. Got nothing but respect for him, so I'll play him every year because I know our girls like playing each other. They play with each other in the summer on the flag travel, so it's real competitive. You never know where it's going to go. And then Chris at Columbus, he was one of the teams chosen and won it that year, and then inaugural season. So that's always a big rival type
Yeah.
game, I would say, and I look forward to playing him. I ain't played him since year one, and our first, he's actually our first loss. He beat us, I think it was 6-0 late in the fourth. So, it's always fun to be able to stay close to home, but know
Yeah.
that you're competing against people that are going to make it to the Elite Eight, the Final Four, maybe state championship.
Yeah, it's fun knowing that this area is kind of becoming the hub of flag football. I know we got, and we can call it out by name like Southeast Bullock, but in that area they're the one. When you come
Yeah.
to this area, we got a lot of talent, and it's just abundant with not just Harris County, Columbus, Pacelli, Central, and Smith Station is the hub, but you kind of have to think a matter of time before some of these other schools, get a hold of it and try to get their program to where we and these other schools are.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
before we before we get out of here, just talk about this past weekend. I saw you was at the softball game, and I actually saw a few of the flag football players along with other sports were all there supporting them. What can you say about the atmosphere that Coach Jenkins has already, first home game that he had, at Harris County, but the atmosphere that it brought on, and just how that stadium, the how it looked, the new stadium look he had with the awning and all this good windscreens and labeling that he's got. What can you just say about how that first game felt?
Man, first of all, the windscreens. I'm gonna have to text MJ and tell her I need some of them on the football field for flag football because that it looked good. Uh,
Yeah,
man, Jenkins, it was good, man. It felt good. I texted the flag group afterwards and was just like, I said, man, I said, congrats to y'all. What a great way to start the home series of sports for Harris County. I mean, you look at that team, you got Miller Daniel starts that rally. Then
yeah,
you got Riley Huckabee just absolutely mash a ball. And,
yeah,
to know that them two girls are going to be with me soon. I mean, hopefully they finish their ring as softball and come help
yeah,
us compete for one. That's that's a big thing. I haven't. That softball field was packed. Everybody was up and up in the game. They
yeah.
got down 4-0. I didn't see a lot of people leave. So that says a lot. That's a testament to people believing in what we got going. And I don't know, man. It just felt good seeing other people, other sports. I mean, I saw coaches from all kinds of Harris County sports there, little league all the way to high school. So,
I think they was
man,
all covered at one point.
yeah, seriously, and that's a good thing. That's the thing that Harris County I feel like we need to get back to, and I think we're in the right direction. Because we do have something special. One county, We've always
Yeah.
said it. One county, one heartbeat. I've heard that since I was in school. So I think it's good, and I'm gonna support every Harris County athletics that I'm able to go to. But if not, I'm definitely gonna watch it on. I text you every week. Hey, y'all streaming. I'm gonna watch it one way or another.
Well, you saw that crowd at the softball game, and then the very next night at Manchester, the entire bleachers, the black and gold, from corner to corner, top to bottom, was filled out. I mean, this never had a crowd on a road game. Like, I know it's Manchester's first time in 19 years, but just to have that excitement of sports, just to see this county's getting behind more sports than just the usual sports that they get behind, baseball, stuff like that, just flat out say it. They're getting behind other sports now with that same excitement. Of course, winning causes that. You win last year in football as much, but it is showing, said it for years that, there's something special in the county, something special about the county. And now I think everybody's starting to see just how special. I posted it about the views just in a couple of days. There was 14,000 views of the Manchester game and the softball game combined. And you got to think Harris County ain't that many people. So you look at how many people has graduated, moved on, and hey, they
Yeah,
want to see what the county's doing.
yeah. I tell kids that do move on, they can't wait to get out of here. They hate it here. And I tell them, I was like that too. I was ready to get out, but once I got out, I was ready to come home. Did you think
Yeah.
there's nothing like Harris County? There really isn't nothing around here that's like it. Sometimes it's not as you feel like it's not as good. You need to be somewhere else. But man, if your heart's in the county, you'll never want to leave. And that's what I feel like we're getting to now, is that this coaching staff there and a lot of sports are here to stay. You got your
Yeah.
OGs like Ramsey, MJ, KB. You got them, but now we're getting some others in now that I feel like are really they're here to stay and help us build all these sports, girls, boys, and rec leagues.
Yeah, I remember MJ was saying at the state of the program early in the year before the school year even started, and I forget the number, so you have to forgive me on that. But the number of alumni that are now coaches, and even not just coaches, think how many people are teachers in
Yeah,
the county or for the county, and how much they come to the games, they support, and I think it's just bleeding over. And this year, especially early on, it seems the support for Harris County, it just, I mean, even ancillary shows like that Kudzu Sports Show on Sunday night, it got more views here this weekend because of all the excitement brewing over from these sports. And I think it's going to turn over to more people coming to these sporting events.
oh for sure, man. And the thing is, like, I mean, the county golf. I haven't been able to go watch a golf match, but I keep up
Yeah.
with them. I keep up with
Well,
them
yeah.
just because it's Harris County, and I respect the coaches that they have coaching it, So I don't know. We really do have something different, and supporting each other's I think will get us a long way, and rooting for each other, no matter what. That's what the difference is at Harris County.
Yeah, I think everybody wants, like you said, one county. Everybody's pulling the same direction, wanting the county to be successful in every sport. And it is amazing that, I get texts from coaches, not just you, asking how other sporting events are going on. And that's every day. Every day when volleyball's playing, I'll get at least one or two coaches from another sport saying, "How's volleyball doing? How's this thing?" And it's just amazing, and it's just unimaginable that every school is like that.
That's no, it's not. I don't even know if it's
I
possible.
don't think it is. It's insane, but it's got to do with the number of alumni,
That's
and
right.
it's not. It's not just you're not just collecting a paycheck. Is where your heart is.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you
It's a,
got somebody like. I mean, just look at D Rock. He went off, could have been anywhere coaching football, but I mean, he was at Lee County for a year. Lee County's a powerhouse in the state of Georgia, and guess
yeah.
where he's at now? He came back to Harris County. So it's just different. Nobody will understand it unless they're from here.
Hey, I posted a clip on that kudzu on it's just some random talk show I was watching about high school football from like South Georgia, and the dude just randomly says Harris County's on my list. That was a great win, and that's just some podcast.
Yeah,
Phil Jones. I don't know. He had Pepsi and Houston Clinic as a sponsor, so he's somebody to somebody. And it
that's
was just
right.
neat to say he was talking about Harris County, but he didn't mention nobody else from this area. It was
Yeah,
all power. He was talking about Buford and these big schools, Lee County and Valdosta. Then he goes Harris County, and I was like, whoa, what? It kind of caught me off guard because
You ain't
never in
used
my
to, yeah.
life have I heard anybody outside of Harris County mention Harris County.
Man, that's one thing. Even when you look back at '07, '08, '09, 10, we were never bigger than anybody. Even in football, we were always
Yeah,
small, man. We had some hard nosed kids, and we're still that way. We're never going to be bigger than anybody for the most
yeah,
part in any sport. It's just got to find a way to make these kids dig deeper, be a little tougher. And I think that
that's
takes last year, even with the football program, you know, being successful like that. These kids that are seniors this year, they don't want to let nobody down. So you know what they're going to
yeah.
do? They're going to dig a little deeper. So I think it's a good thing. I think we got a good thing going.
Oh, that's why you gotta let Josh Jones off the bus first when you get somewhere, because
That's right.
that dude's massive. But
Yeah,
there ain't many more Josh Jones coming behind him. Although I will say, at Coach Watson's weight program, shout out to Coach Holbrook, the strength and conditioning. Them dudes are getting jacked. Now the thing is, we don't have a herd of them like Buford and some of these other places.
that's right.
But Coach Watson, he's building something. I know the middle school is kind of getting into it, and it's going to take a little bit, maybe a year or two more. But that size is coming. But it's all about that heart with the county, and that starts. I always say that starts in the community ball. That's why I like you play for Waverly Hall, and these kids develop this pride when they're in youth football. And that
Yeah,
pride, they say, "Hey, we can't wait to get to middle school together." Then they get to middle school and they say, "Hey, we're going to be playing high school," and it's pride that you have from being a Mountain Hill Wildcat, which it sounds silly, but it instills that into you as a kid, and I think that's important. And I don't think people get that anywhere else, where you come up with these kids all the way through, but you're
yep.
playing together for one another. You learn all that stuff. That's cliche as hell, but there's a reason it's cliche, because it's true, because it works.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think we're, starting to get back to that and starting to see the fruits of all that starting at that age. These kids coming back together, staying in the same school system, playing
Yeah.
for that high school. That's the big thing. Keeping them here, man. That's what we need to do. And I feel like we're starting to do a better job of it.
Yeah, and not just in football. We'll go back. I'll go back to softball, because I know with my daughter playing softball coming up, a lot of these kids that you see at the high school, they played together for the middle school, for little league. You saw them at the little league together. Now they're playing at high school together, and a lot of them were on the same travel ball team. Now they do separate. The Huck and Wolford Barger, they separate on a good
Yeah.
level and go play. But these other kids, they play together, and sometimes against each other, but for the most part, they're all pulling the same way. They've known each other since they could, you know, put a glove on for the first time, and now here they are living a dream in the county. Because I don't know if you see it on the on the broadcast Georgia Alabama Sports Live game when Miller walks. Look at the JV kids in the bleachers
Oh yeah.
celebrating that varsity win, because it meant something to them, and that's amazing to see.
Yeah, but I mean that's what it's about. You maybe you aren't fortunate enough to make the varsity team, but
Yeah,
you see the varsity be successful 7-0. That's your goal. So it
yeah.
makes you work a little bit harder. And that's what high school sports is about. Maybe you're not where you want to be, but work a little bit harder and get to where you want to be, and you be a part of it, be involved, be in the dugout. So it's good to see that back at the county.
Oh, absolutely. And we talk about being one county, and the only high school in the county. The downside of that, to an extent, you look at the softball team and even the flag football and then baseball. You only got so many slots.
That's right.
Go look at how
Yeah.
many. I mean, you see it. Me and you saw it on Little League. How many kids sign up for Little League baseball? And no, you got to take that big old number, and it's
Yeah.
got to get down to 25, or it's just amazing that how many girls did you have at flag football tryouts?
I want to say 70, 72, 73,
And you
and
got
I had
that
to cut,
20,
and I cut it down to what 27,
I think
20,
26 or 7.
26. Yeah, so it's tough, and you hurt feelings, and I hate doing that
I
because
know you do.
I mean you don't
Well, you got
know the
one coach
kid.
that didn't mind.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And that little mix kind of helps out a little bit, makes you
Yeah,
look at things a little different, but I just don't want to give up on a kid that maybe hadn't reached their potential. I preach to them, hey, if you really want it, go practice, come back next year. There's a different look every year for every team that I try to put together, and maybe
yeah.
they just didn't fit this year. And I got girls on my team now that didn't make it. Guess
Yeah.
what? They came back out and they're on the team. So, I stand true to that, and I do notice if people take initiative and work on the outside. Sometimes it takes a little extra for some, and
Yeah.
if they do it, I reward them. They deserve it. Then I'm gonna give it to them.
Well, we already went long, so I know Richard's probably getting a little ill, but I'm gonna ask one more question just because I meant to ask it earlier in the interview, and I'd feel bad if I didn't ask it. Let's talk about Coach Moss, Miss Moss, the science boss,
Oh yeah,
whatever you want to say about her.
yeah.
Talk about the importance of having her and just what she is to you and just having her on the football staff.
So when I started this, I obviously didn't want to be, a male in a female sport. I know I needed a female. Well,
Yeah.
I was co-teaching actually with my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, and I told her, "Hey, if I do this thing, you're coming with me." And she's like, "What?" It's really funny because she has always been around sports. She was
Yeah.
like the trainer or something for the football team when she was in high school at Harris County. So she kind of knew about it, but she's I wouldn't say she's into sports, but she's had to learn along the way. So it's been pretty
Yeah.
cool kind of getting to see her like year 3, year 2, she's yelling out, "That was this." And I'm like, "Oh, how'd you even know that?" So, but it really is, man. She's helped me paperwork wise tremendously, keeping these girls under control in a way that probably only a female can do it. I mean,
Yeah.
having her out there has helped the sidelines to a certain extent. She's learned the plays. She's nurtured these girls as like a mom almost on the field,
Yeah.
So having her out there, I wouldn't be able to do it without her. Um, she keeps telling me, like got added a couple coaches this year. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that, and she keeps telling me, "All right, does that mean I can quit?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. You're
No.
the day I quit's the day you quit. You're staying with me." But she loves it, man. She loves these girls. Don't let her fool you. She buys into what we're trying to teach them, and yeah, winning's fun, but let's be good people, good students, and she helps keep that under control.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because I don't. People don't realize you coached with just you and her, where you was doing the game day coaching it, and before she really knew what was going on, you was doing everything by yourself, offense, defense, everything, and
Yeah,
she was just kind of playing mama hen on the sidelines.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's changed now. She's keeps stats and she keeps up with
Yeah,
who's doing
yeah.
what, and
I
it's
wish
fun
I
to.
would have did that. I did that last year, year 3. Made her keep. I didn't make her. I asked her to keep stats,
Yeah,
and man, I wish I would have did that year 1 because she learned more in year 3 just by
yeah,
keeping the stats. So,
yeah,
it was tough the first what 3 years. I'd say I was when I get locked in, I'm locked in, and you can ask the girls. They get mad at me because I get zoned out, but I have to watch defense and offense, and that's a
yeah,
lot, man. And
yeah.
I have to help her with the stats. Well, I did at first, but then she caught on very fast because she's pretty smart. But you know, this year it's going to be great having 2 extra coaches, people, other eyes on the field, and
Yeah.
I think it's going to help us make that run even further this year and next. I look to have a chance to compete for back to back, and that's our goal.
I think it's real important to be able to where you can get cricket and talk to, or you can get the offense to the side while the defense is on the field, and you trust the coaches out there run the defense while you can actually have a conversation with players on offense, and that's something that every other team has the ability to do. And you've kind of been coaching this with the arm behind your back, but you've been pretty daggum good at it. So it really ain't had no complaints from people.
Yeah, yeah, man. I have been fortunate with it, but like I tell a lot of people, them girls get out there, they do the work, they do the.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can call the play. Yeah, I can do this, but they got to execute it. So you know, I don't want to take any credit away from them. They're the
no,
athletes out there getting it done. They just trust me to, hopefully make the right call. So
and they've been at it since spring. I've seen them out
yes,
there working since
but
spring. Uh, Shout
they're
out to
hungry. They are
Deputy
very hungry
Pettit.
for it. Cricket, and Pearson. I know Morgan's been out there. Some Christian's been out there. A lot of girls have been rotating in and out. Cadence Gardner, Cadence Jenkins. They're hungry for it. They want it, and they took it upon themselves to go out there and do that. We have
Yeah,
certain stipulations and rules we have to follow as coaches, and time with them on the field when we can start 4-on-1s if a ball's included. But they've taken initiative themselves and have been putting the work in.
Yeah, I've seen them at the field, seen them post on social media that they just been getting after it on their own. No coaches
Yep.
with them and putting in hard work. They just ain't there throwing the ball back and forth. So it just shows that how much they care and how driven they are. I think that state run a couple of years ago, then not making it back last year, really humbled them as far as saying, "Hey, if we're going to make it back there, we're really going to have to hump it year round." And it's Coach Watson said it in tackle football, and it's true in flag. It can't just be September to December. You got to be ready.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, especially now. Flag football 2 to 3 years ago,
Oh yeah,
hey, but
what'd
now
you call it?
flag.
Backyard plays.
Yeah, yeah. Now flag football is getting to a point, and I think people are starting to realize. And we're fortunate enough to have girls that want to be good, and we're fortunate enough to have a rec league that stays in contact even with me, and gets my input on stuff, and how we should do stuff or how I think we should do stuff. And I'm no guru at it. I just like having fun, and them starting at that age is just going to make us better. So
Oh, absolutely.
we're
Now they're not playing soccer year round, which it is
yep,
crazy. I get why, but how soccer players transition
are
so
good.
well to flag football, the start,
Yep.
stop, the running, how, and it's just I always say at tryouts, I'd look at their shoes if they had on soccer cleats. It's
Yeah.
almost like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch this one a little bit because
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
gonna be she knows what she's doing.
Yep. I mean, Reese Wise is a prime example of that. She could have went anywhere and played flag football, but she loves soccer, and I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna try to pull her away from soccer. And now she's at Reinhardt. She started as a freshman and had a pretty good season. So,
But
you
think
know,
about if she'd have had the opportunity to play flag when she was 10, 11 years old,
oh
and then,
yeah,
that's why the soccer was near, that's something she's played her whole life. And now these girls, and some of them play just flag. And, it's just crazy to see.
it's awesome, man. I'm glad to be a part of it, and I'm glad that Harris County has something like the um, Kudzu and Alabama Georgia Sports Live. I mean, people don't realize how big this is, and I've been a fan of Kudzu since day one. Getting Jamie to
You
let
the
you come
reason
up
I'm
there,
at the county.
I mean,
Remember,
I
I
just
sent you a Facebook message just like, hey, I thought you were still coaching football. I was like, hey, dude, you think I could come up there? You're like, hey, I don't have a clue, but text Jamie. And I was like,
yeah,
what? You're like, here's his number, Jamie Foxx. Give him a call. And I
yeah,
called him during COVID crap. And I went by there to watch a game, had to wear a mask on the sidelines, all that stupid stuff. But
crazy.
after that, the next year I showed up. I went to like 2 or 3 COVID games. Then I showed up the next year, and that's when that kid came up to me. It was like, Coach Fox said, if you're going to be doing this, you got to wear black and gold, and gave me a stack of Harris County shirts. And now that's
Yeah,
my thing with these coaches. Be like, hey, you know, I'm more than happy to cover your stuff, but hey, can I get some swag from you?
that's
And
right.
most, every one of them's given pretty much, what they got, and it's worth it to me. I like having that swag when I'm up there at the county. I got the black and gold, but Fox started all that. But yeah, I would have never. And then the Loganville game in the playoffs,
Oh
when
man,
Coach West was like, "Just come in the dugout."
yeah.
And once I did that one time, I was set. Then it took off. But none of that would have happened if I didn't, if me and you didn't know each other and just kind of you reach me, point me in the right direction. So Kudzu
Hey,
wouldn't even be. But I'd still have that old lame green logo that was going on instead of that black and gold logo.
hey man, I think what you was doing. I saw your vision to a certain
Yeah.
extent. Did I think it was going to be this big? No, but I'm dang sure happy it is, and I'm glad we have something to be able to have. Just think about grandparents that can't make it; they can watch Georgia, Alabama, or
Oh,
Alabama, Georgia sports live or Kudzu live. It's a
it is
big thing.
nonstop. On
Yep.
Fridays, from the time I wake up until I'm on the air, I'm hearing about y'all streaming the game. Y'all streaming the game.
Yeah.
I'm getting tagged in comments saying contact so and so for streaming the game. But even when you got me with Jamie, I never dreamed I'd be doing play by play for Harris County. And then I would never dreamed that I'd be yelling and screaming, acting crazy during the broadcast. Just and I mean, I admit, I'm a fan. I want Harris
Yeah.
County to do good, and I get excited when there's a ball on the ground, when there's stuff going on. I just get all excited. It's fun to do. And softball, when Riley hit that go ahead home run, I mean, how you not lose your mind? You got 500 people, is what Coach Jenkins said was at the game,
Yeah.
going crazy. You can't help but go crazy with them. It's fun and it's special time in Harris County.
And it's always good to make Northside be a little quiet on their side. So
Yeah, because they was upset when he did that back to back intentional walk. They
yep.
were
So
man, they was making some. They were booing and yelling at him across the field, and like two pitches later, double play, and it's like,
they
dude's a
hey,
genius.
there's a reason he's got 3 rings. The
Yeah,
dude
but
he's smart.
nobody dreams of doing that. You
No,
walk the 1 and 2 hitter for a 3 hole hitter that went yard the last time, and he'll
that's right.
never. I mean, it's always, and I get it from his standpoint. The players made the play. I mean,
Yeah,
Rainey Dansby had to catch it. She had to throw it to Brown. Lindsay had to catch it.
that's right.
Wolfenbarger had to make the right pitch, but at the same time, what coach puts you in that position?
That's
This
right.
is
Yep, yep. He trusts his players, man. He knows them players better than anybody
he knows
outside
them.
that fence.
And ain't it crazy? That was his first home game, his fifth game at Harris County,
Yeah,
and he knew them that well. I mean,
you couldn't have wrote it any better, really.
oh no, I mean, I thought it
I
was
will tell
insane.
I'll tell you this, that I already, people that didn't know who he was now know who he is and believes in what he's doing. So
Yeah, if there was
that's big.
anybody, if there's anybody that's like, why we hired or why did this guy come here? What's well, there's a reason why, and it's just great to see this. He's just going to keep getting the softball team. This ain't it. It ain't like he only has a small window. Hell, Riley and Wolfenbarger aren't seniors.
Yeah, yeah,
When you're looking like that, and they got some really good seniors. Guthrie and some of these other girls that are really good that are going. But man, you look at the middle school and the JV team. Them
that's
girls can
right.
play some ball, and he knows
Yeah,
that. Because I mean, he knows them girls, and it's like, man, it's there's something that softball field, just like the baseball field. We remember with the two teams that went to Warner Robins in Little League, and now they're growing up,
they're
and they're
coming up.
going.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
crazy to watch.
he sees the. I feel like I don't know this, but I feel like Jenkins kind of, you kind of can see the writing on the wall. You got these young groups competing. They got to come to the high school eventually.
Yeah,
Our job is to let's keep them here.
yeah,
Let's make it special. You don't leave a 3-time state championship softball program for no reason. There's a
yeah.
reason that I feel like he left, and I feel like he's going to do a good job at Harris County, and help us achieve that too as a county.
Yeah, and the dude's a winner. He's gonna win wherever he goes. But we're blessed to say, hey, you come here. We got the talent. It's an Elite Eight team. The last 3 years, 2 years, Final
Yeah,
Four team. So it ain't like he knew that because he's in the same region with them for all these
yeah.
years. And it's just fun to see that kind of bring a little bit of swag with him. But hey, that's what you want when you get it.
That's right. Yep. Yep. There's a reason for everything, and we're about to see what it all plays out and look like.
See how it looks towards the end of October
That's
when
right.
uh when they're
He's in
down at South Commons.
South Commons. Yep. I'll be down
Man,
there for sure.
oh man, it's gonna be just as packed as I mean it gets packed out the last couple of years, but now especially because you got to think it's gonna be Harris County North Side no matter. And
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, you could put any classification. That game you saw the other night would have been the top for any classification of softball.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
It's just
Yep.
insane. Well, this is what gets us in trouble at church with Mama Tina right here. We just talk too much. We done
That's
went
right.
40, we done went 40 something minutes. Poor Richard waiting on us to get off the air so he could chop it up and post this thing.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate you coming on. October 8th, first game of, most flag games are 3 teams. So it's 2 games for Harris County that night.
Yep.
Heritage and Central Carroll. Central Carroll's usually, last couple of years had a pretty good flag team. What do you know about Heritage?
Heritage is a first year team. They're driving actually from around Ringgold, so it's pretty good
Yeah.
ways, So I feel like they kind of want to see where they're at as a team
Yeah.
coming to play us in Central.
Yeah.
Central, I talk to that coach, pretty regularly. He says he lost a lot, and I know he lost his little fast quarterback, but
Yeah.
man, he's competitive. He knows what he's doing, so we can't take it lightly on him. I think it's going to be a great opening series for us, kind of show us where we're at, kind of like it
Yeah.
did last year when we played them. Also looking, so parents, rec league parents. I'm looking to do a youth night that night. Hopefully, I'll have Kudzu and Rick post that soon. I got to get it approved by MJ, but I want to have the flag football rec league. I want them to come support us, and I'm going to have my
Yeah.
girls actually. Some of them are going to be out there helping them coach this fall. So I want everybody to be in tied with each other. Through these
Yeah.
programs. So be looking for that to be posted.
like you said, one county that goes from, rec league all the way to senior year of high school. So Zach, I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me tonight.
Oh yeah, man, for sure, anytime.
All right, man. Well, I
All right.
appreciate it. And hey, for Georgia Alabama Sports Live, Kudzu Sports, I'm Rick Beach, and we'll see you next Tuesday with, I don't know who's going to be the coach, but I'm sure it's going to be a good one. It probably won't go 45 minutes, but we'll see you next week on the Kudzu Sports Coaching Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.